Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. If you're new around here, you know that we talk about princess cruises an awful lot around here. Gordon and I have been on lots of princess cruises. I've been on a couple more than he has because I've gone with our daughter, and I have been 15 times on Princess. I have thoroughly enjoyed every single time. I love cruising on Princess. I plan to cruise on Princess for a very long time to come. However, lately, Gordon and I have been trying to spread our wings and try some other cruise lines. Now, along the way, we expect to really like some things, not like some things. I'm going to do a few more videos to compare them a little bit more with Princess, but today I want to talk to you about Royal Caribbean. Two weeks ago, we were on the Explorer of the Seas round trip out of Miami to the Eastern Caribbean. And so here's our whole experience, and the way that I want to do it is I want to tell you 5 things that we really enjoyed about Royal Caribbean, about that ship, and 5 things that we were really not quite as crazy about. None of it was a deal breaker, I would say. Now, I do want to start off by telling you, I've had people say, are you going to do that again? Not for the foreseeable future, because we are still at the time in our life where we both still work, and Gordon has limited vacation time. And so every time he has time off of work, we are very thoughtful and plan out for a long time where we are going to go using his vacation time. So while our time on Royal Caribbean was great, it was just fine. It's not what I am looking for every time I go on a vacation that Gordon and I go on. And so if family members invited me on it, or I had to go for another reason, absolutely, I would go again. And someday when we reach the point that maybe we'll have time to cruise as much as we want, maybe we will go again. So yes, nothing was bad about it, but it's just the thing of you go looking for different experiences, right? I think we all do that. There's not one cruise line to me in my book is not better or worse than another one. They're just all different. And so when you kind of add everything up, then you decide which one you prefer overall the best. And I think that can change throughout your life. I think it changes who you're depending on who you're sailing with or why you're going, things like that. So let's go ahead and get started, and don't hesitate to put any questions down below. So first of all, one of the things, we're going to start with what we really liked first. The crew, we expected it. They were amazing. I especially think of our room steward was amazing. He is just the best guy. He greeted us with a smile all the time, could not do enough for us. Our head waiter in the dining room and his assistant were both remarkable. You know what? They were really busy every night. And those two, I saw them running sometimes, trying to manage everything, to keep everybody happy. And I could tell that in our area there of the dining room, they took as good of care of everyone else as they did of us. For example, I loved that every night when I was giving the head waiter our order, and I would ask for something, he would say, "Are you sure?" And I would say, well, what's better? And so I ended up trying some new things, which I very much enjoyed, and just a delight to be with. And then our assistant waiter was always funny. He had cute little things he would say, and he never failed to bring me, if you're new here, I just love Diet Coke, and he would make sure that my Diet Coke was always there. If I drank it all, he would bring another one. And so those two were just remarkable. And I also noticed the very first evening when we got to the main dining room for the first time to check in, the maitre d' there is amazing. And I don't know how he manages so many people so professionally and so kindly, and a smile never leaves his face, and it is genuine. He really is an amazing person. If I owned a cruise line, I'd be trying to hire him away. He is that good. Also, the hostess, the person who takes you to the table, absolutely wonderful people. So we thoroughly enjoyed it. The main dining room there on Explorer of the Seas is called the Sapphire. And one thing I really liked is it's 3 levels. So you go in and there's this whole big open part with a big beautiful sun up on the ceiling, and then you have all the seating going out from the 3 levels. It was really beautiful. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The very first night the food was really, really, really good. I thought that I had found somewhere that was better than Princess on the food. food. The rest of the week, it was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was good. It was good. It was good. It wasn't like a culinary masterpiece. Okay. It wasn't something that you would write home to your foodie friends and say, you've got to come on this ship because of the food. No, but if you're just on a trip, it was great. And it was. And it was also a very pleasant surprise. The day that we, at embarkation, we boarded the ship, and then the cabins were not ready until 1 o'clock. And, I noticed on Princess sometimes if they're not ready until 1, you can go put down some of your stuff, or even put your little bag or something outside the door or whatever while they're finishing up. But on Royal Caribbean, they keep the door to the whole hallway closed, and at 1 o'clock they open it. And so we were on, I would say maybe it was by 11 at the latest. And so the only place to eat that's open is the Windjammer Cafe. So I'm sorry, the Windjammer Buffet. So we head up there. Lines are huge. Of course, you've got everybody on embarkation day and nowhere else open. And so we waited, and so we were in line, of course. There's a really big seating area associated with that buffet area. Of course, on a ship this big, the prettiest is out in front. Just keep walking around the side towards the front, and they have all these windows just open. It is so beautiful. That's where you should sit. But anyway, the food there was really not very good. And I know they're trying to feed 1 million people all at once, but I have been in buffets that are feeding that many people all at once that have been better. I don't mean that in a fussy way. It's just my job to tell you what I thought. It was not good. And so then I was a little bit worried about the food for the rest of the week. But when we went to dinner, it was really good. And yeah, so that was really nice. The main dining room, we thoroughly enjoyed that, and the crew was wonderful. Well, I guess that kind of combined 1 and 2, because number 2 on my list was the main dining room food, and that with the excellent service was just wonderful. And they had a really nice selection. They would have some things on the menu that were the same every night, like a New York strip, some other things you can see, because we've got the menus over on our website, and also Gordon will show you here. But every night you could order a whole Maine lobster for $29.95. You could order filet mignon for $16.95, and if you wanted them both together, that would be $34.95. And so I love that they have that option for every evening. So if you don't see anything that you like on that menu, you always have the option to get a good steak or the lobster. Now, we didn't order the lobster. There were always other things that we liked, and so the whole Maine lobster, I saw someone just over from us order it though, and they were very pleased with it. I heard them telling the waiter how good it was, and so I think that's a good bet. Now, Royal Caribbean, the week we sailed, they still had it that on the second formal night, what do they call it? Fancy night? I don't know, I'll look. But anyway, on the second formal night, lobster was an option. Now, their lobster was better than the lobster I've had on Princess for a long time. It was small, but the lobster on Princess has gotten smaller over the years, and the ones I've always gotten lately have been slimy, and I don't like that. But this was broiled beautifully, and it tasted delicious. Very flavorful. They brought you drawn butter with it. It was really, really good. So hats off to Royal Caribbean on that. So, and they always had good desserts. They had a large selection, depending on what you wanted. And I did notice that on Royal Caribbean that they had a few of the gluten-free and vegan options, and they said that you could ask for more on request. So if I were trying to pick, I would say that would be okay to sail on. If you've got gluten-free requests, vegan requests, I think you would be okay. At least the week that we were on, it seemed like that there were a lot of options. Now, and they also gave you very generous serving sizes. It wasn't like you would eat that dinner and then be hungry. They gave you plenty for everyone to feel full. Now, another thing that we really liked about this cruise was you could walk clear up to the bow of the ship, and just, there were seats out there that you could sit and enjoy the beautiful view there on the bow, or you could walk up and literally stand on the very bow of the ship. So that was thoroughly enjoyable. We did that several times. And then the other really cool thing is, so you have the bow of the ship and the bridge is right under it. So they have it so that you can kind of walk behind, and there are big windows so that you can look down into the bridge. Very interesting. They ask you not to take photos or videos, so we didn't. didn't, but it was really interesting to see. You could see what they were doing, and it was very interesting to be able to do that, because usually if you want to see the bridge, you have to get an appointment, and you have to ask and hope they'll take you on a little tour of the bridge. So I thought Gordon and I both enjoyed that an awful lot. And it's also really refreshing because, on a lot of the ships these days, you can't walk out on the bow. So that was thoroughly enjoyable for us. Let's see. Another thing we really liked, and I think that it sounds like everything I have read and heard, they have lots of activities. They have lots of trivia. We got to meet some Let's Go family members, Trisha and Kisno. They are just the most delightful people, and she loved trivia and Zumba and all these things. There was lots of that going on, so many things, and it looked to me like there were things for people of all age groups. Yeah, they had lots going on all of the time, and they had from when you got up in the morning until you went to bed, and if you wanted to stay up late, they had entertainment going late, so you could thoroughly enjoy. And they had a variety of things. They had some different bands playing. They had different singers and dancers in the theater. Lots to offer with that, and a lot of the trivia was over in the Schooner Bar, which I really liked. They had a singer there in the evenings a lot of times, and we would go listen to him sometimes, and it was just thoroughly enjoyable. They do a really good job of keeping you busy as you want to be while you're on the cruise. They also, this is going to sound funny, but we really like the variety they have in the photo packages. Now, because sometimes, you can only get so many photos, or, you got to think, okay, I got to wait till I can find 10 that I like or whatever. And they had a lot of variety to do with that. They even had some other fun things that you could, they had those glass things that you could have a photo etched in them, those crystal glass things. They had a wide variety. But let me tell you, one thing that I loved about this cruise is down where the photo area is right next to the skating rink, and it is also right close to where you go in the main dining room. And about the second night of the cruise, we were just standing there. It wasn't quite time for our dining appointment, and so we had looked at our pictures, and we're just kind of walking around. And you know what? I think that on this cruise was the first time I have heard so many people just happy. People were chattering, kids were running around, and it just was the happiest sound. Not that people don't sound happy on other cruises, but it really, really stood out to me how happy and excited to be there everyone was. Every night they took pictures down there. They'd have different backdrops. They would have, people would line up on the nights, that was more formal night. They would line up on the night it was just casual. And you know what? Their photographers are good. They got really good photos. I noticed that as they were taking them, but I also noticed the way they do it there is in that area, they've got several of the kiosks around with 4 different monitors, and you slide your room key, and then your photos will come up. And I was not going around and saying, let me see your photo, but just glancing, you could see people got really nice photos. And so that they do a really good job. And the like I said, the photographers do a good job. If somebody's hair was sticking out, they'd fix it for them, or they'd say, oh, do this a little bit, button your jacket, smooth it out, whatever. They were on the job. Now, another thing that is outstanding on Royal Caribbean is their app. It's really, really good. Now, Princess, of course, has the edge with the medallion, absolutely. But Princess maybe ought to take a look at Royal Caribbean's app. And it's the same one they share with Celebrity. Same app, different name of cruise line, but other than that, they're the same. They are very smooth for getting your information in to be able to embark. And then when you're all done with that information, they come up, I think it's a barcode. I don't think it was a QR. I think it's a barcode. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You end up with your embarkation screen there. And literally, at embarkation, you scan that and you're in. It really does work. And so then other than that, they have all of the activities on board. They list all of the excursions. You can buy an excursion on the app if you want to. And list of all the activities, list of all the eating places. One thing plus the whole daily schedule, everything everything in order. So it's really easy to read. They do a really, really good job with their app. And then we also noticed one of the favorite things that we liked was I think it's called Hungry Now. You could click on Hungry Now and it'll tell you what's open. And it'll list it out whether it's included or whether it costs extra, which is really nice because at noon or sometimes by lunchtime and you want to know what's open, it lists it for you. If you got up late and you're wondering what's open at 11 o'clock, it lists it for you. It is really, really handy. Really like that. So that you're not going through each place trying to look at their hours and see what's open. And are we on a sea day? Are we on a port day? Nope. They just list what's open then. Along with that, I would say in the buffet, I don't know why, but on the port days that we were in port, as you're getting towards the end of the time that you're in port and lots of people are coming back, we noticed a couple of times right off, we noticed that they have the buffet shut then. So then you've got all of these people who are hungry, and the only place that's open that's included is the Cafe Promenade there on the promenade, and they have pizza, and their pizza is actually good. It's really good. So it's a good thing, but the line for it went down the promenade, and so you had to wait a long time. So that was kind of, not optimal, but we thoroughly enjoyed the app. It's really, really good. Now, another thing, and I think we got 2 bonuses here. One is the perfect day at Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private island. It's awesome. They've got beaches, more than one beach. You've got the one on the wind side of the island, one on the lee side of the island, so you can decide what kind of waves you want or no waves. You can do snorkeling. They've got the thrill park there with the water slide. They've got a huge swimming pool. They've got some little shopping kiosks set up. And I would tell you, the very best shopping was on Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And I am not a huge shopper. I'm known to buy things sometimes. But if you see a bag or a little dress or a swimsuit cover up or a shirt or a hat, whatever, and you love it, buy it then. You're not going to find anything better probably. I don't know, just throwing that out there, but they do a really good job. They have several eating areas, and they do hamburgers and hot dogs. They did Cubans. They did Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. The food there was really good. It was really good. And so we thoroughly enjoyed our day there. They have a little tram that goes around. So if you don't want to walk the whole way, you go to a tram stop and wait for them to come and pick you up and take you somewhere. And so we thoroughly enjoyed the day. Like I said, we enjoyed every moment there. We got right off when we got there, and thoroughly enjoyed our day. And we were there right when Hurricane Tropical Storm Nicole was going through, so the waves were really high. So snorkeling that day was, they said the beaches that they usually do that, those are on the wind side of the island, and it really was too churned up to see anything. So we didn't get a snorkel. But we had a really fun day, and it's also so nice. They have a pier. We love that they have a pier. You don't have to tender in. And the other nice thing is the island is big enough that our ship was there and Oasis of the Seas was there, so an Oasis class ship, and it did not feel so packed that you had to wait a long time for your turn for anything. Occasionally there was just a short line. I noticed at lunch for food, but not bad at all. They have big venues to feed people there. I highly recommend that. And when I compare it with, I'm not going to compare anything today. I'll compare for you another day. And then the sixth thing I just can't help but mention is their ice show. Their ice skating rink really is very small, but they do a lot with that little bit of amount of ice. It's very professional, really fun. I would go on that sailing again just to see the ice show. And I know some Let's Go family members that will, I guess they have different ice shows on different ships. And so people will just take turns making sure that they go for whatever show they haven't seen, then they pick their cruise and off they go. I really enjoyed that a lot. Okay, so now let's talk about the things that we did not like quite so much. First of all, I mentioned the Windjammer Buffet. It was never good. And I'm not trying to be harsh with anybody, but it wasn't really good. And I wasn't the only one. I would just choose to eat somewhere else if I had to. We ended up eating there another time or two, but it was not that great. The next thing is the internet. So on Royal Caribbean, you have the Surf internet and you have Voom. So Surf is what they say you need unless you want to stream videos, do other things. And so since we were hoping to upload some videos, we paid the extra for the Voom. And they even had a little stand up that said the fastest internet at sea. Their internet was non-existent. If, number one, you were constantly coming unconnected. I could be sitting on the bed with my laptop and I could not stay connected. I could be sitting there with my phone in one place, get connected, try to do something, I'm unconnected again. So, and we went and talked to the people and the guy said, we don't have good internet. Our internet is really slow. So he owned it. He owned it. The employee there that was at the kiosk in charge of helping people with trouble with the internet, he owned it. And so I would say don't go thinking you're going to do anything with the internet there. I wouldn't even pay for it. Like, just don't even spend your money on it. If you have to do work while you're on a ship, that's not the ship for you. If you have someone, a loved one that is in such a situation that you have to stay in close contact with them, that is not the ship for you. If you can go and check your email, do whatever you need to do while you're in port and have Wi-Fi on land, then you're great. But don't be thinking you're going to be doing anything with the internet there, okay? And we talked to lots of people. We even went down there a couple of times, and it's always a long line because everybody's having trouble. And so people were commiserating with what they were trying to do. So don't plan on the internet on that ship. Also, I honestly was taken a little bit aback, and I know that you probably heard that on the when we were talking to you all about it, that they didn't take a little bit care of that ship, a little bit better care, I should say. That I think it's teak that is the wood that's along the hand railings in a lot of areas was just dry and not taken care of at all. And I know now, see, she is going to go into dry dock in February. But I thought some things were just standard maintenance, and I guess they aren't. So I was a little bit taken aback by that. And like I said, I know that she is going in for a dry dock. Some parts of the ship seem just fine, like they didn't need anything, but other areas I think are really going to hopefully get a lot of attention while she is in dry dock. I know that she is going to get her water slide. She was supposed to get that during the dry dock during COVID, but since everything was, they didn't have enough workers, enough time, that was put on hold. So now she'll get her water slide. And I would say she does, like she has a basketball court, she's got the rock climbing wall, the flow rider. There is lots for people to do. Also a miniature golf course. They've got that. But anyway, so hopefully she'll get a lot of attention that she needs. I think she has lots of good years left in her. I think they just need to take care of a few things. Now, the specialty dining, we had specialty dining at two places, Giovanni's and somewhere else. I don't remember, but either one of them we didn't eat at because every time we went at our time. We got there a few minutes early for our reservation, and they were swamped, and they didn't know when we could be seated. And so we just went ahead and ate in the main dining room on those nights. One time at lunchtime, we wanted something, and the main dining room was open, and the Johnny Rockets, which is also specialty, it costs extra. And bless them, we went up there to Johnny Rockets, and they had some tables open, but the guy says, I don't know when we're going to be able to wait on you. So I don't know how much of that was a crew shortage or what, but specialty dining was not a good experience on the ship. The food, I don't know if it's good or bad because we never got to try it. So that took me back a little bit. The other thing that I would say that I was a little bit disappointed in were our excursions. I put the video up saying how our excursion in Jamaica was not what it was advertised to be. And I feel like I need to be clear again, in case anyone misunderstood me. It was not the people that live in Jamaica's fault. It was somehow there's a breakdown between what Royal Caribbean advertises and what you get. That is what the breakdown is. The other thing, when we were in Grand Cayman, now they have that fabulous 7 Mile Beach. And when I went down to customer service and told them, I was really nice because it's not the guys down there's fault, about that we were displeased with that excursion. I said, can we cancel the one for tomorrow because we were so disappointed in the one today? And he's like, nope, you can't. You have to go. So we went. It's 7 miles, you guys. 7 miles of beautiful beach. Our excursion took us to the only place, like we looked at the map, we looked at it on the satellite thing. There's a seawall at the beach where our excursion took us to. And so you don't go, like you're on sand, right? You're on sand with lounge chairs, but when you want to go in the water, you have to go down a bunch of steps and then you're in the water, okay? There's no beach. If you wanted to go around one way or another way, the lady who worked at the place that brings drinks and food, which you had to pay for, that wasn't included, but that's okay. I didn't think it was included. She says, if you go that way, there's a good public beach. If you go this way, you could try to join their beach, but it's a private beach. They brought us to the only area that had seawall. That shows me that Royal Caribbean's not following up on their excursions. I have been on so many princess excursions, and without fail, I always realize that there's a crew member with us, always, and they've got on like their casual clothes. It's their day off. They're getting to enjoy the excursion, but it gives them good input, Princess good input about how their excursions are going. They need to do that on Royal Caribbean. I was really disappointed. I was so excited. You see all of the pictures, including the pictures that advertise that excursion, and you see this beautiful beach extending before you, beautiful water, not so much. And so that was disappointing. Another thing I would say is, for a ship that size, I don't know what you need to do, but you need bigger pools. The pools were not very big for a ship that size, and they were packed constantly. Gordon went down like at 8 o'clock one day, and it was already packed. And so he came back and hadn't even been in the water. And I was like, didn't you go swimming? And he's like, sweetheart, it is packed, the whole edge. So then I went up to look because I wanted to see what he was talking about. Like, people were sitting like skin to skin all the way around the edge of the pool. Now, they did have some fun pool activities. Those were some things on the list. So they did have a good draw to go there. And they do have lifeguards also on Royal Caribbean, which is really nice, especially if you've got little children or if you're swimming alone sometime. Someone's always got their eyes on you. But we were just a little bit taken aback by that, and we have been on cruises with crowded pools before. I'm not saying that Princess always has a pool big enough for the ship, but I have never seen them packed like that. Alrighty, so that's the main thing that I just wanted to tell you. But like I said, we had a really fun week. Gordon and I always enjoy being together. It was fun to see new places. It was fun to have just a nice, relaxing week. We did enjoy it. Oh, and I wanted to also tell you, so our Let's Go family members on board have sailed, bless them, with Royal Caribbean. Love them. They have sailed enough that they got to go to the most traveled captain greeting thing that they have, and there they have it in the Palace Theater. So everyone comes in and sits down. They give you a complimentary drink, and then the people who were the most traveled were called up, and then the captain gave the nicest talk, and I recorded it because he talked about everything that had happened to the Explorer of the Seas right from when the shutdown happened with COVID until she started sailing again. It was really, really interesting, and so we're going to put up that video today too, because I love it. It helps, I have never heard that for a single ship during COVID, and so it gives you a window into what was probably going on with a lot of the other ships, including things like losing an anchor and just some other really interesting things with the crew. He did an outstanding talk, and I would say that the captain of the ship was outstanding. He was there, and one other evening he said something at one of the evening entertainments, and really, really a great captain, as I think all of them are. But like I said, don't go on Royal Caribbean thinking you're going to have a Princess experience, and don't go on Princess thinking you're going to have a Royal Caribbean experience. They're different. One's not better than the other one. They're just different. And so I'll give you a little bit more of my comparisons in another video, but I just wanted to give you these things to start thinking about. So if you have any questions about anything, go ahead and put them in the comments below and share your experience. Let us know if you have sailed on Royal Caribbean, what you thought about it, if you had a good time. I can't imagine not having a good time because we really enjoyed ourselves. But I would love to hear from you all. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, because we really do need you with us. If you appreciate these videos, would you please give this one a thumbs up, because that really does help us. I will be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.